If you're brand new to Lightning Lane Multipass, Animal Kingdom is the perfect park to learn how to use this system. In today's video, we're going to show you how to have a roaring good time here at Disney's Animal Kingdom using Lightning Lane Multipass. Let's go do it. Hi-ho everybody, this is Rob with Ear Scouts coming to you bright and early from Disney's Animal Kingdom. We are here on President's Day weekend, which surprisingly is one of the busier weekends here at Walt Disney World. I like to film these videos on busier days because I think it gives you a better idea of how this system's going to work if you're here on a busy day. Now, a lot of the things you're going to see us doing in this video might be easier for you if you're here when it's not quite as busy. I have been noticing this morning that lightning lanes are pretty tough to grab, even for some of the less popular attractions. We're here right now at Rope Drop, so we're kind of walking in with the crowd. If you had early entry, I would recommend take advantage of early entry and maybe knock out one of those attractions that doesn't offer Lightning Lane Multipass. Your best bet here at Animal Kingdom would probably be Flight of Passage. That attraction has a Lightning Lane, but it uses Lightning Lane Single Pass, which is the flavor of Lightning Lane where you pay for that one attraction only. Whenever you're not here for early entry, it's really important that you focus on the attractions first thing in the morning that the early entry folks are not focused on. Now, if we went over and started with Flight of Passage, probably there's going to be an hour, possibly 2 hours worth of early entry folks already in that line. But if we head over here to meet Mickey and Minnie, it's probably going to be more or less a walk-on. I also love doing characters first thing in the morning because you're not all hot and sweaty and gross. So not only do you have a shorter wait, you're probably going to get better photos of your character interaction. Let's go do it. So good to see you. One of the great things about getting your photo with Mickey and Minnie here at Animal Kingdom is they're wearing those really cute safari outfits that you can't find anywhere else. A lot of people will tell you that you don't need to use Lightning Lane Multipass here at Disney's Animal Kingdom because there really aren't that many attractions, and among those attractions there are even fewer that use the Lightning Lane Multipass service. Here are the 3 different reasons that I think it can be a very good idea to use Lightning Lane Multipass. The first is if you're planning to park hop. If you start your day at Animal Kingdom, you pay for the price for using Lightning Lane Multipass at Animal Kingdom, which is generally speaking the least expensive you're going to find at any of the 4 parks. Now the good news is, once you pay for a Lightning Lane Multipass at any one of the parks, once you tap in at your very first attraction of the day, you're free to book Lightning Lanes at any park here at Walt Disney World. So you can see why starting at Animal Kingdom would be a great way to save a little bit of money. Also, Animal Kingdom tends to be the first park to open in the day. So this is also a great place to start because you can get a jump on those rides before other parks have even gotten started. Now, the second reason I would recommend considering Lightning Lane Multipass is probably the most obvious, and that is if you're just not a line person, you can't deal with long waits. Maybe you've got some kids in your group who just can't sit still that long. Those are reasons why Lightning Lane makes sense for any park, including Animal Kingdom. But for me, the most important reason to use Lightning Lane Multipass, and the reason we're going to use it today, is because skipping the waits on those different attractions is going to give you time back in your day. And a lot of people tell you that Animal Kingdom is a half-day park or there's not much to do here, especially since Dino Land is closed. I'm going to show you in today's video, there is a ton of stuff to do here that can easily fill up a full day, and you're going to be really glad that you got some of that time back by using Lightning Lane Multipass. One of those things that you might not have time for in your day if you're rushing from attraction to attraction and waiting in long lines is something like winged encounters. This is one of the smaller shows here at Animal Kingdom, but it's also one of the most magical. This is something that a lot of folks don't even realize exists. Sometimes they'll just stumble upon it. But if you're here early and you don't have any lightning lanes lined up, you can head over and catch the first showing of Winged Encounters, and that's what we're going to do right now. Trust me, it is definitely worth a little bit of time in your morning. Let's go check it out.
Our hope is that one day we'll have some baby blue-throated macaws that we can release back out into the wild one day so that we can save the blue-throated macaw and skies that are filled with macaws for generations to come. Skies that look just like this.
Isn't that show incredible? Those birds were like this close to my head at some point. So if you're skittish about birds, that might not be the show for you. But if you're like me and you love those beautiful macaws and having those really close-up encounters with animals, that is one of the best ways to do it. We're going to do another show later today that is a must for bird lovers. But first, we're going to go over here and show you one other thing that you should definitely include in your day if you've got littles. This is another one of those things that's not included with Lightning Lane Multipass, but it is the kind of thing that you can include in your day when you have more time because you're using Lightning Lane Multipass. It's the Wilderness Explorers program, and if you've got little ear scouts in your crew, this is definitely something you need to put at the top of your must-do list. We now have our Wilderness Explorer guidebook and our first sticker. Kids love collecting these stickers, and best of all, they're gonna learn something every time they collect one. As we go through our day, we're gonna keep our eyes peeled for those Wilderness Explorer checkpoints, but for right now, let's focus on our Lightning Lane sticker. And the first thing that I wanna talk about is something that you don't have to worry about when you're in this park, unless you're park hopping, but it's definitely something that you need to know about if you're visiting other parks. And that is that you cannot book more than one Tier 1 attraction or book attractions in other parks until you've tapped into your first Lightning Lane. Now this means you have to physically be in the park, you have to tap in at the tap point, which we're going to show you when we tap in at our first Lightning Lane today. And at that point, you are magically unlocked and you can book multiple Tier 1 attractions or attractions in other parks. The great news about Animal Kingdom is that in this park, there are no Tier 1 attractions. So you don't need to worry so much about tapping in quickly, unless, of course, you're planning to park hop. And then you'll need to tap in so that you can start booking for your second park of the day. For us, however, we're planning to spend the whole day here, so I wasn't as focused on getting an early Lightning Lane. I was more focused on getting Lightning Lanes that made sense for my plan for the day. For us, since we're here on a really busy weekend, we didn't actually have the best selection of initial Lightning Lanes for the day. The reason for that is we're not staying at one of those fancy Disney resort hotels, and that means that we book our Lightning Lanes 3 days before our park day. If you're staying at a Walt Disney World Resort hotel, you can book your initial Lightning Lanes starting 7 days before your check-in day. Now, the reason this is a huge benefit is it means that you're going to have first dibs on those most popular Lightning Lanes, and folks like us are going to have to wait 4 or more days later before we can even start booking. Now, if you have a multi-day park ticket, you do have a little bit of a jump because you can start booking for your entire trip starting 3 days before the first day your park ticket is active. So let's say that your first day of eligibility was a Thursday and you had a 4-day park ticket. You could start booking 3 days ahead of that Thursday on Monday, and you could book for every single day that you're here on that first day. And I would definitely recommend doing that because the earlier you book, the better chance you have of getting great initial selections. For us, however, we're using annual passes. If you're using a ticket that is not a multi-day park ticket that's tied to a specific set of dates, you unfortunately can only book 3 days before your park day. Now, in all of these instances, you can start booking at 7 a.m. on that day of eligibility. For us, unfortunately, we forgot to book those Lightning Lanes right at 7 a.m. So by the time we got around to it, there were not a lot of great times available. But don't worry, there are definitely ways that you can improve those times, and we've been doing that off and on leading up till today. I want to show you really quickly in advance of your trip, if you're not satisfied with the lightning lanes you're starting with, how you can make those hopefully a little bit better before you get here. All you got to do is fire up that My Disney Experience app and then tap on that lightning lane button in the main menu. You'll see all of your lightning lanes listed there. If you want to improve the time on one of those lightning lanes or maybe turn it into a different lightning lane altogether, just tap on it. A menu pops up and you're going to choose to modify that lightning lane. On this next screen, you're going to see the lightning lane that you currently have along with the time that you have it for. Below that is the time that's available at that moment. If you were to scroll down, there are other attractions that you could choose to book instead. Now, if you're not happy with the times that you see here, you can use a method that we like to call playing the Disney slots. And that means you're gonna take your finger, slide it down the screen, and refresh the view. I do think it's important to think of this as a game, because if you think of using this lightning lane service as a tool to book rides, you're gonna be pulling your hair out. You're gonna find it is very frustrating, because there are thousands and thousands of people who are all doing the same thing, especially on the day of your visit. They're all refreshing their screens, and if they see a time pop up that they want, they tap in really quickly and grab it. And if you didn't tap in quickly enough, that means that that lightning lane is already long gone and in someone else's pocket. Thinking of this as a game definitely lowers the stress level a little bit, and I talk to lots of families who have found that they love playing the Disney slots on their phone. It's become a competitive family sport to see who can grab the best lightning lanes of the day. Eric and I have been doing just that, and we've actually got a pretty good lineup for the day. I'm really happy with where we're starting. So we've got an early morning lightning lane for Zootopia. After that, we've got Kilimanjaro Safaris, also pretty early in the day. And then I have the most difficult lightning lane to grab in this park, Navi River Journey. And you'll notice I have that one for a lot later in the day. The reason for that is I plan to end my day over in Pandora. So I'm really happy with that late time, and I'm not going to try to back it up. It's right where I want it. The good news is, since we have 3 different lightning lane slots, it's no problem to have one of them tied up with that ride, especially if it's a tough to grab ride like Navi River Journey. For right now though, we're gonna open up one of those slots by tapping in at our first ride, because as you're gonna see, as soon as we tap in over here at Zootopia, that's gonna open that slot up and let us book our next lightning lane of the day. So let's head over and spend some time this morning with Nick and Judy and enjoy the newest show here at Animal Kingdom, Zootopia, Better Zootopia. I definitely don't think you need to use a lightning lane for Better Zootopia, especially if you're coming in the morning when the lines are shorter. The reason I wanted to book it though is because for those folks who are planning to park hop, they're gonna need an attraction to tap into early. And if you can get an early time for Zootopia, this is a great one to do because it's right here at the park entrance. So you can kind of tap in and immediately start booking your next lightning lane in your next park. Or of course, if you're planning to continue here at Animal Kingdom, you can book your next lightning lane here as well. The other reason you might want this lightning lane is if you were planning to do this attraction a lot later in the day, because this line can get really long. This attraction is still relatively new, and that makes it one of the more popular attractions here at Animal Kingdom.
And what's your name, my spotted friend?
Benjamin Clawhauser!
Benji, you have the best seat in the house to watch it all go down. Now your job, press that big red button. Be responsible, that's totally standard. Okay! No, careful. You're flashing one.
Nibbles, we need to know if anyone saw anything.
Okay. Hey, Bub.
Hey, Bub.
Hey, Bub.
Hey, Bub.
Hey, Bub.
Hey, Bub. Hey, Bub.
Hey, Bub.
Hey, Bub.
That is an adorable show, especially if you've got little ones who loved Zootopia 2, and the Clawhauser animatronic is amazing. When you come out of the show, you're going to see most people are going to go to the right, but if you take a left, you can actually explore some of these trails that go behind the Tree of Life, and you can meet some of my favorite characters from the movie Up, Russell and Doug. I did go ahead and book our next lightning lane. I went ahead and got Expedition Everest. The reason I was aiming for that one is not because I want to do it next, but because that is one of the more difficult to book lightning lanes in this park. And since we're here on a busy day, I do want to make sure that I get that booked while I still can. If you're trying to do every attraction in the park, or you're just aiming for your favorite attractions, it's important to book the ones that are the most popular first, because those lightning lanes will run out earlier in the day. They're also going to be showing much later return times, meaning you'd have to wait a lot longer to ride them and free that slot up to book something else. I have found that the easiest way to share with you which attractions are the most popular is to use kind of a card metaphor. If you think about lightning lanes as a deck of cards, the idea is you want to have the highest value cards in your hand early in the game, because those are going to be the cards that are going to be difficult to draw later in the day. Here in this park, the highest valued cards are Navi River Journey, which I consider the ace of the deck. The king of the deck is actually Zootopia, Better Together, the ride that we just did. Now, that's mainly because that attraction is brand new. I do expect that as the year goes on and it's not such a brand new attraction, it's probably going to fall, but for right now, it is the king in the deck. The queen of the deck is Expedition Everest, and that's why I went ahead and booked that one next. The jack is going to be Kilimanjaro Safaris, which we already have booked, and the 10 is Kali River Rapids. So those are all the high value cards in this deck. If you want to see the full deck of card values, just head on over to earscouts.com/deck. We keep an updated listing there. We're also going to refresh that deck throughout the year because these rankings do change. Right now, Kali River Rapids is relatively low because it's February. A lot of people don't really want to ride a water ride when it's not too hot out. That's definitely going to become a much more popular attraction as we get into summer and fall. And as you can see, that's the only attraction we have left that's in this kind of face cards of the deck that we need to book. This is again why I think that this is the perfect park to learn how to use Lightning Lane Multipass with, because the stakes are really low. There's not a huge number of attractions you need to worry about, and it's easy to get all of your favorites done in the course of a day without too much stress. So while we do have Expedition Everest booked now, I do want to try to back that time up a little bit. It's a little bit later than I would like. So I'm going to play the slots while I'm in line here to meet Russell and Doug. Anytime that you're in a line like this where you got nothing better to do, that's the best time to play the slots, back up those lightning lanes so that you can tap in earlier and book something else. Hey Russell, how's it going? I felt like I had to come say hello because I'm being a wilderness explorer today. I'm so excited. I have never collected all the stickers, and today's the day. I'm gonna do it. In addition to meeting Russell and Doug back here, you can also see some amazing animals. These, I think, are some of the best kept secrets here at Animal Kingdom. A lot of folks don't even know that they can come back here behind the Tree of Life and see animals like the giant Galapagos tortoise. How amazing is that? They're actually tortoises from the Galapagos right here in Animal Kingdom. I think a lot of the reason that people don't notice that these things are back here is because they're rushing around from attraction to attraction. And I encourage you, if you are using Lightning Lane, you are getting so much time back in your day. And doing things like this is the benefit of saving that time. Today, my plan is to start here in Discovery Island, and then we're gonna bypass Pandora because that's where we're gonna end, and we're gonna start in Africa. From there, we're gonna basically work our way around the park, and then we'll end back at the beginning with Pandora. This is a pretty massive park, so it definitely helps to have a little bit of a plan of attack for your day and to avoid crossing back as much as possible. But since we have a little bit more time before we need to be in Africa, I want to show you some more of the fun things that you can do right here on Discovery Island. We're going to explore some more of those Tree of Life trails, and we're going to earn a couple of Wilderness Explorer badges along the way. Let's go do it.
Legos based off of just things that we've collected on a little nature walk, right? A playground right in your backyard.
Wow, already the line for the Zootopia show is backed up almost into Asia. As you can see, although it didn't save us a lot of time early in the morning, if you had that lightning lane later in the day, it would save you a ton of time. And that's why it is one of the most popular lightning lanes right now. It's almost time to head into our next land of the day, but we have one final stop here on Discovery Island. Another thing you need to make time in your day for when you're using Lightning Lane is treats. And right now, everyone is talking about this ice cream sandwich. It's a layer of brownie topped with ice cream, and then a layer of cookie dough, and the whole thing is topped with sea salt. We had to, of course, give it a try. The line for this one is pretty long, so you might want to do this early in the day to avoid the really long line. I gotta say, it is really good. For me, it's the sea salt that makes it, but a really good treat, especially on a hot day. Our lightning lane for Kilimanjaro Safaris is at 10:40. Right now, it's 10:35, but even though it isn't quite time yet, we can go ahead and tap in. That's because you have a 5-minute grace period on the front end of your lightning lanes. You also have at least a 15-minute grace period on the end, although in our experience, you actually have a whole lot more than 15 minutes. The last time that we tested it out, you were actually able to tap into your lightning lane up to an hour and 59 minutes after it had expired. So if your lightning lane was from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, as long as you got there before 12:59 and 59 seconds, you were able to tap in without a problem. Now, once you hit 2 hours, it does glow blue, which basically means that you're not free to pass. You have to talk to the cast member. In some cases, though, they would still let you use a lightning lane that was even more expired than an hour and 59 minutes. For right now, though, let's go ahead and tap in a little bit early here at Kilimanjaro Safaris. We're approaching 11 o'clock and the crowds are definitely here now. This park is pretty packed. There is a posted wait of 75 minutes for this attraction, and even the lightning lane is pretty backed up at this point. Our wait's definitely going to be a whole lot less than 75 minutes though, and from here on you're going to see how much time lightning lane saves you even in a park like Animal Kingdom where there aren't that many attractions. Well, that was a delightful safari. We saw a lot of animals out in the open, just kind of hanging out, enjoying the afternoon. Our next stop, however, is going to be to get some lunch because we've got a really early dinner reservation. So I want to eat lunch a little bit early. The other reason I like to eat lunch early is because if you go at prime meal time, like pretty much from noon until 1:32, you're going to find that the restaurants are mobbed with people. And even if you use mobile order, you're probably not going to be able to get your mobile order anytime soon if you're here on a busy day. Even though we're eating around 11:30, when I went in to place my mobile order for a restaurant nearby us here in Africa, the pickup time was showing pretty late. But I'm going to show you a little trick. If that happens, all you need to do, go ahead and place your order with whatever's the best time available. And then while you're in that mobile order screen, go ahead and tap on that button that says change arrival time. Now, it's possible that there won't be any better times available, but you can basically keep going back and forth from one screen to the other, and eventually, with any luck, a better time will show up, and as luck would have it, a better time did show up. And we're able to go pick up our lunch right now. So let's head over to Harambe Market and have a healthy lunch here in Africa. While we were sitting here enjoying lunch, we did take the opportunity to play the slots a little bit. and get our next lightning lanes all lined up the way that we wanted. Well, at least that's what we were trying to do. I have to say, today has been the toughest time I think we've maybe ever had here at Animal Kingdom trying to back up lightning lanes. We've been working on Expedition Everest for a very long time, off and on, whenever we've had downtime, and it is just not budging. Right now, it is at 6:15. We still have Navi River Journey where we had it this morning, and that's where we want it. We're not gonna mess with that one. For our third lightning lane, right now, we've got a 12:30 for Festival of the Lion King. Now, with most shows, I would not say it's absolutely essential that you have a lightning lane, but Festival of the Lion King, in my opinion, is the must-do show at this park. A lot of people consider it that as well, so it becomes a very popular show, especially on busy days like today. And if you don't have a lightning lane and you go during that busy time of the day, it's possible you might wait in a line through an entire showing of that show and then have to wait until the next show to actually see it. That is a very long wait. So that is the one show I think it's worth getting the lightning lane for. There's really only one lightning lane left that I'm even remotely worried about being able to get, and that's Kali River Rapids. I've been keeping an eye on it, and that's one thing I do recommend you do. If you're worried about a lightning lane, just keep an eye on what times are showing up, and as long as you're consistently able to see times show up, you can probably hold off and use that slot for something else, like we are right now. We're gonna use it for Lion King, but as soon as we tap in there, I'm definitely gonna go ahead, and when that slot opens up, I'm gonna book Kali River Rapids. But for right now, I think it's a great time for us to go enjoy one of the animal trails here at Animal Kingdom. There are two main animal trails, one here in Africa, which is Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail, and then over in Asia is the Maharaja Jungle Trek. I would say it's worth dedicating about 20 to 30 minutes for each of these trails. So we've got about that amount of time before we head over to Festival of the Lion King. So let's go check out Gorilla Falls. If you're doing that Wilderness Explorers program, you definitely want to do these trails because there are some badges you can only get back here. There's also some badges that you can get over at the conservation station, which you have to take a train to get there from here in Harambe. Unfortunately, that's going to be closing down pretty soon. And when it comes back, it's temporarily going to be a meet and greet spot for Bluey and Bingo from the TV series Bluey. And since there's not going to be anything over there to show you that'll still be here when you come to visit, we're going to go ahead and skip that. Plus, it's also time for us to go tap in for our lightning lane for Festival of the Lion King. You remember earlier when I was talking about grace periods, and I said you had up until an hour and 59 minutes after your lightning lane expired to use it. That's true of rides. That is not true of shows. So with shows, it's really important that you get there within that window of your lightning lane. Otherwise, the show's gonna start and you're not gonna be able to get in to get a seat. That is a wrap on Africa, and man, what a way to finish that land. That show is incredible. If there is only one show that you're gonna see in this entire park on your park day, make it Festival of the Lion King. It's so good. But we're actually on our way right now to see another show. I think this middle time of the day, when it's the hottest and the most crowded, is the best time to get shows in, because it gives you a chance to sit down away from the crowds, get a little bit of air conditioning. And for us at this particular moment, we actually don't have any lightning lanes lined up. Shows can also be a great opportunity to back up your lightning lanes, because when you're sitting there waiting for the show to begin, there's really not anything better to do than go ahead and tidy up your lightning lanes, try to get earlier times, or maybe swap them out for rides that are more important to you that you're worried about losing. Luckily, we have everything booked now. We have Kali River Rapids booked, we have Expedition Everest booked, and of course we have Navi River Journey. The times still aren't what I would like them to be, but I'm not worried that we aren't going to be able to ride them, and that's the most important thing. Two of the shows that we have left do offer Lightning Lane, but there's really no need for Lightning Lane even on a day like today for either of these shows. One is Feathered Friends in Flight. The other one is Finding Nemo, The Big Blue, and Beyond. The other reason you want to get these shows done now, though, is because they're going to stop running long before the park day ends. It's a really great idea, especially when you're in the middle of your day. Check on the times for the shows that you haven't seen yet and make sure that you're going to have time to see them before the day is done. For us, the best time to see them is going to be right now. So let's go check out Feathered Friends in Flight.
Calculating. We have a terrible rat problem right here at Animal Kingdom. You're not. What do you think we're not supposed to talk about the rats? Okay, so Groucho doesn't only know one song, he actually knows 7 different songs. Pretty impressive, right? So we can't count races. Let's see if maybe he'll sing us another one. And that was Groucho! They still are
All right, time for me to catch you up really quickly because so many things have happened since we sat down for Feathered Friends in Flight. Pretty much as soon as we sat down, we started playing the slots a little bit and we were able to get a great return time for Kali River Rapids. Then, of course, we watched the show, which was amazing. How cool is that singing parrot? So then as we came out of the show, we had the lightning lane all set to go for Kali River Rapids. We were walking over that way and womp, womp, womp. Unfortunately, Kali River Rapids is down right now. But actually, that ends up being pretty good news for us because the lightning lane that we have not been able to back up all day, Expedition Everest, is still scheduled for way later in our day, which is not ideal. When you have an attraction booked and that attraction goes down, you get what Disney calls an experience redemption. I like to call it a bonus lightning lane. But basically, when you tap on this guy, there's going to be a link in there that shows you everywhere you can go. And voila, there in the list is Expedition Everest. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to go to Expedition Everest and we're going to tap in as if we have a lightning lane for right now, which of course we don't. We do have a lightning lane, but it's for way later today. But even though we don't have a lightning lane for right now, that experience redemption is going to kick in and it's going to glow green and we are going to get to ride that ride. My guess is it's going to be way easier for us to get Kali River Rapids again than it is going to be to back up Expedition Everest, because man, has that lightning lane been stubborn. But I'm also really glad this happened because it lets me show you how these experience redemptions work and how you can use these as you go through your day. Whenever you get one of these experience redemptions, just take a moment before you use it and think about what is the best use of that experience redemption. So now that we've formulated our plan, let's carry it out. And to start, we're gonna go find a Yeti on Expedition Everest. best ride in all of Walt Disney World done. And it actually worked out perfectly as well, because now we are right next door to Finding Nemo, The Big Blue and Beyond, which is the last of the big shows we need to see today. We've already rebooked Kali River Rapids. We've got that for 6, but I do think if we wanted to, we could probably back that up a little bit earlier. But really, we've got so much stuff lined up to do from now until the end of the day. If we had to do it at 6, it really wouldn't be that big of a deal. As soon as we get out of this show, it's going to be time to head over to a very special dinner that we have reservations for. I could have modified our existing Expedition Everest Lightning Lane into one for Finding Nemo. The reason I didn't, though, is because we don't actually need a lightning lane to get into this show. We're going to get in just fine. We're going to see the same show we would have seen with the lightning lane. And even better, we still have a lightning lane for Everest, meaning if we wanted to, we could ride my favorite ride in this park twice. And that's really the only way you can do that with Lightning Lane Multipass. Typically, you can only book each attraction once. But if you ride an attraction with an experience redemption and you have it booked, that is the way that you can get to ride a ride twice. I don't know if we're gonna have time in our day to do it, but I wanna hold on to that lightning lane just in case. Show is just adorable, and the performers are so incredibly talented. The puppets are amazing, the singing is amazing. It really is a great show, and I think probably the most underrated show here at Animal Kingdom. It is now 4 p.m., which means we have 4 hours of park time left. This is one of those magical days where Animal Kingdom stays open a little bit later than normal. Usually this park is closed by 6 or 7. So the fact that it's open till 8 is a really great treat. Right now we're heading back into Asia. I have some very good news, which is that we are done booking lightning lanes for the day. We were able to successfully move up our lightning lane for Kali River Rapids to be basically right after we're going to be done with dinner, which is going to work out perfectly. So now that we finally have all of our lightning lanes squared away, I want to share with you my 3 biggest tips for grabbing difficult to book lightning lanes and backing them up. I do recommend, if you haven't seen it yet, check out our lightning lane guide because we go into much greater detail in that video about these tips. But here's kind of a quick Cliff's Notes version that'll help you on your Animal Kingdom day. First and foremost, when you're aiming for a really difficult to grab lightning lane, I don't recommend booking it right off the bat. Book something else that's easy to book and then modify that lightning lane into the lightning lane that you want. When you book a lightning lane initially, it's going to ask you who all is in your party as part of that process. In the time that it takes you to select your party members, you will often lose that lightning lane time that you're aiming for. Once you're modifying that lightning lane, however, it's not going to ask you who's in your party because it's going to use the existing lightning lane's party to book the new one. By saving this couple of seconds of time, you are much more likely to get the lightning lane that you're aiming for. The second thing that I recommend is use the genie. We go into this in a lot more detail in our regular lightning lane guide, but the gist of it is you can go into My Plans and then you're gonna set your preferences for the day. It's gonna ask you what day you're going, which park you're going to, and then ultimately, it's gonna ask you which rides you're most interested in. Only choose the rides that you want pinned to the top of your view, which makes it really easy if there is a time available to tap in quickly and grab it. And my third and final tip, and this one is probably the most important, even when you're really quick about tapping in many cases, it is just not fast enough. Instead of continually refreshing your view and waiting for the time that you want and then tapping into it, just go ahead and tap into whatever time is showing up there. It's gonna look at that very moment to see if there are better times available. And if there are, it's gonna grab those better times instead. And so if you're successful with this, you've already got the better time in your pocket. You don't have to worry about tapping in quickly, you just did the tap. Well, those are my Cliff's Notes tips for getting tough to book lightning lanes. They definitely came in handy today because we are all set. We have one last thing to do before dinner, and that is to enjoy Maharaja Jungle Trek. These animal trails do close pretty early, so we want to do this before we eat dinner because by the time we get out, it might already be closed. What I love about Maharaja Jungle Trek is it has such amazing theming inside. It involves 3 Maharajas. The first Maharaja used this land as his hunting grounds, and he would hunt big beasts like tigers. The second Maharaja, who followed that Maharaja, decided to learn from his mistakes because that first Maharaja was actually killed by one of the tigers he was hunting for. So this Maharaja decided to turn it into a sanctuary. But it was his own private sanctuary, and he built this beautiful palace inside to be a lovely place where he could hang out and commune with the animals. But it was the third Maharaja who had the wisdom to open this sanctuary up to all. And that's what we're visiting right now, is what was created by that third Maharaja. I could spend all afternoon at Maharaja Jungle Trek. I just love the animals, but also the environment. The architecture back there is stunning. The detail work that the Imagineers did. This is why I love Animal Kingdom so much. And it's also why I love using Lightning Lane, because it allows me to not sacrifice the rides I want to do or the shows I want to see, but it still gives me the time to just kind of linger and enjoy moments like that. Sadly, we can't linger too much longer because we do have a dining reservation. The other great thing about using Lightning Lane is you can take some time to enjoy a special meal. Here at Animal Kingdom is one of my favorite restaurants in all of Walt Disney World. It's a signature restaurant, which normally means you gotta get dressed up a little bit, but since this one is inside of a theme park, you're allowed to come in wearing shorts and a t-shirt, and that's my kind of signature dining. Best of all, though, the food here is phenomenal. The service is amazing. The decor is beautiful. There's a reason why Joe Rohde, who was the lead Imagineer developing this park, once Tiffins opened up, he ate every single meal there, according to legend. And when you eat there, they usually give you a little piece of his artwork to take home with you. It's like a little postcard. But for me, I'm really just most excited about that delicious food. Let's head on over to Tiffins and enjoy a signature meal experience in the middle of our amazing Animal Kingdom day. Y'all, I have had some pretty amazing theme park meals over the years. That is the best restaurant you're gonna find in any theme park, certainly in Orlando, but quite possibly any theme park in the world. It is so good. The only restaurant I've had that I would say is better than Tiffins is Victoria & Albert's, which is a Michelin-starred restaurant at Grand Floridian that will literally cost you nearly 10 times the price. And you gotta get all dressed up for that. The fact that you can go enjoy that meal in the middle of a theme park day wearing a t-shirt and shorts, that is amazing. And I'm so glad that Tiffins exists. I'm also so glad that because we were using Lightning Lanes today, we were able to enjoy that incredible meal at Tiffins and not sacrifice anything in this park. We're gonna head on to our next Lightning Lane right now, which is Kali River Rapids. And when that's done, all we have is one land left, the land of Pandora. And you're gonna see when we get there why I saved that land for last. Before we hop on Kali River Rapids, I do have a few tips to share that are very specific to this ride, because it is very possible that you are not just gonna get wet on Kali River Rapids. It's possible you are gonna get completely drenched. And for that reason, it's helpful to know, number one, that there are lockers available here that are free. So you may want to put your things in that locker so that it don't get soaking wet. The second thing you should know is that it is wise to bring a change of shoes. I like to bring a pair of really lightweight flip-flops in my bag, and that way I can change into those flip-flops, and even if I get drenched, I will still have dry socks and shoes when I get off of the ride. So that's something else you might want to put into that locker. Another thing that's good to know, some folks in your party may not be willing to get completely drenched, in which case it's helpful to know that you can cancel those folks from your lightning lane. All you got to do, tap on that lightning lane as if you were going to modify it, but instead tap on cancel. Don't worry, it's not going to cancel for everyone. It's going to let you choose who you want to cancel for. So in this case, we're canceling for Eric because he just doesn't dig getting soaking wet on Kali River Rapids. And finally, if you're here in February, it's usually best to try to do this ride at the hottest point of the day. We have clearly missed that mark. It's actually starting to get a little bit chilly. So I'm gonna get bundled up and prepared, and I will meet you on the rapids. Nothing about Kali River Rapids has gone as planned today. As soon as I tapped in, it went down again. So there was a posted 55-minute wait. The wait, even with a lightning lane, because of that downtime, was 45 minutes. Now, to be sure, the folks who were in the standby line definitely waited a whole lot more than 55 minutes for that ride, but was not planning on 45 minutes. Also, was not planning on doing Kali River Rapids at night in February. Having said that, I kind of loved it. I don't think I've ever done Kali River Rapids at night, and it was amazing. Everything is lit up really beautifully, and you kind of feel a little bit more suspense. I think maybe I have a new favorite way of riding Kali River Rapids, although I don't recommend it in February. But if you're here in the summer, maybe consider doing Kali at night. But finally on our itinerary is the one thing you should definitely plan on doing at night, and that is the land of Pandora. Let's go tap in for our final lightning lane at Navi River Journey, and then I'm going to show you why you should not get the single pass lightning lane for Flight of Passage, because I've got a trick that's going to make the perfect ending to your Animal Kingdom adventure. Let's go do it. While Pandora is amazing at any time, day or night, this is just a beautiful land. I feel like it really gets kicked up a notch at night. We just rode Navi River Journey, and it almost feels like that ride spills out into the land itself. All of the bioluminescent magic is just everywhere. I definitely think if you get the opportunity to come back here to Avatar at night, make sure you just plan to have a little bit of time to explore. And that's exactly what we're gonna do right now. We're just gonna go check out all of the amazing waterfalls and bioluminescent plants. And then we will meet you just before the park closes for our final ride of the night, Flight of Passage. I would argue that there are two perfect times to do Flight of Passage. The first perfect time is during early entry. If you're staying at a qualifying Disney Resort hotel and you can get into the park 30 minutes before day guests, that is the attraction you should probably make a beeline for. If you're not able to have early entry, however, my favorite time to do it is just before the park closes, because as long as you get in that attraction's queue at least seconds before park close, they will let you stay in that queue as long as it takes to ride the ride. The only catch is if the ride were to go down, you wouldn't be able to ride it. So there is some risk involved. But the reason I like to do it at that time is because, number one, you're not burning up any of your park time to do it. Even if it is a super long wait, you're getting that wait essentially as a bonus time in the park. Reason number two is if you're here during a time of year where it gets dark later in the day and the park closes early, the only way you can see any of this amazing stuff in Pandora after dark is to get in that queue right before it closes and hope that you have a long enough wait that when you get off, everything will be dark and illuminated. And then the final reason to get in right before the end of the night is because you will oftentimes see a really high posted wait. They leave the wait at a really high number to, I think, discourage people from getting in the queue at the last minute. But 9 times out of 10, that wait will be much less than what's posted. In some cases, dramatically less. So let's go put it to the test. Let's hop in line for our final ride of the night. It's posted at 80 minutes. We'll see how long it ends up being. What an incredible day we just had here at Animal Kingdom. We got so much done today. There were some things that we did that we didn't even have time to show you. Like, for example, we stopped and watched a little bit of the projection show here on the Tree of Life behind me on our way over to Pandora. We also did some PhotoPass stops to get some really cool magic shots. There's just so much you can do in your Animal Kingdom day, and when you take advantage of Lightning Lane, it allows you to do even more. When you add up all of the time that we save from not waiting in lines for those different attractions, it adds up to a lot of hours back in your day. And as you can see, even with Dino Land closed, there is so much to do, experience, and enjoy in this amazing park. The other thing I want you to know is that this was probably the most challenging Lightning Lane day I've ever had here at Animal Kingdom. I think it was the combination of President's Day weekend and Valentine's Day weekend, and the fact that a lot of folks actually around the world have this off because of Carnival in Brazil and Mardi Gras. So this is just kind of a perfect storm of people having vacation and all coming to Walt Disney World. But even though this was the most difficult day I've had at Animal Kingdom, we were still able to do everything that we wanted to do. We just had to be a little bit creative in how we did it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, help us out by giving it a like, subscribing to our channel, and ringing that bell. That way you'll be notified whenever new videos like this come out. Before we go, I want to give a huge thank you to our Patreon family. Thank you so much for making videos like this possible. If you'd like to join them and get access to exclusive bonus content, head on over to patreon.com/earscouts. And of course, I want to thank all of you. Thank you so much for watching this video. We'll see you again real soon. Until then, don't forget to think happy thoughts, everybody.